Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a new week. It's so good to be back. I haven't been here for a fortnight. We went away on holiday on the 1st of September to the Gold Coast, had a really great full-on 8 days, and then flew in on Friday night late. And then on Saturday, I was straight back up to Auckland in my car with my daughter to go and see Billie Eilish, her favourite singer, in concert. So got home mid-afternoon yesterday, which was Sunday. It's been a hectic 10 or 11 days, but had the best time, and now really looking forward to getting back into some work. So I wasn't here last Monday. This time last Monday, I think I was walking on the beach in Surfers Paradise. Hey Dee, hope your trek is going really well. So nice to see you. Love to hear more about it. So today's topic is 8 ways to maintain your body shape while on holiday. And the reason I want to talk about this today is because obviously I've just been away on holiday, so this is really relevant from my point of view, but also I know a lot of people who are going away, or they've got plans to go away, and I thought this was a really good topic to help people understand how to maintain their body shape while they are away, out of routine, doing things that they would not normally be doing, all that sort of thing. Hey Anna, thanks for tuning in. Right, so the first thing I want to note is that when you go away on holiday, your goal should be to maintain your body weight. We don't want to talk about weight loss. We don't want to aim for weight loss when we're away, because that just puts way too much pressure on. It actually detracts from the enjoyment of your holiday. So my advice would be just forget about weight loss when you're away on holiday if you have a weight loss goal, if that's what your sort of overall goal is at that point in your life. Forget about that while you're away. Your goal should be to maintain your weight and your body shape, and I would even say you can give yourself a little bit of a buffer. So for example, you might say that, okay, by the time I get home from my holiday, I'm only going to be one kilo heavier or 1.5 kilos heavier, because that amount of weight is really easy to shift when you get home again and you're back to your normal routines. You don't want to give yourself a buffer like 5 kilos, because 5 kilos might not sound that much, but actually when you're back home and you've got 5 kilos to lose, that can be a little bit more daunting. So I think that your goal should be either maintenance of your current body weight, or give yourself a little buffer. And by little, I mean 1, perhaps maximum 2 kgs. And what that allows you to do is to go out and enjoy your holiday, have a few extra treats, but you're not going to just get completely derailed. Okay, so the other thing that I forgot to mention, and I should have said this at the beginning, is that one of the things that people tend to do when they go away on holiday is that they swap one type of stress for another. So for example, they might have a stressful job and they leave the stress of the job behind, but then they go away on holiday and they overeat, they overdrink, they don't perhaps get the exercise that they normally would, maybe they don't sleep very well, and so that becomes another form of stress on the body. So these tips that I'm giving you today are all about how to avoid going from one stress to another. Okay, right, so the first one was maintaining your body weight or giving yourself a little bit of a buffer. The second one is to make a point of, when you first arrive at your location, find yourself a supermarket. Go into the supermarket and find yourself some good healthy snacks. And depending on what type of holiday you're having, make a little bit of a plan about how you're going to approach that holiday when it comes to food. So for example, when we got to Surfers Paradise, the first thing we did was we went and found a Coles supermarket. We bought fresh fruit, we bought dried fruit, nuts and seeds. So we covered ourselves for breakfasts. We bought cereal, things like that. So we decided that we were going to have most of our breakfasts at home in the apartment. and that we would buy healthy snacks to take with us in our backpacks, so that, you know, what it's like traveling with kids. They're always hungry. At least we had snacks on hand to give them from the backpack. So we bought breakfast foods, we bought snack foods, and on some of the days we actually bought lunch foods as well. So, you know, we were able to make, for example, for the kids, chicken and salad sandwiches and things like that. On other days we ended up eating lunch out, and for most of the nights, in fact probably all of the nights we were away, we ate dinner out. I mean, we were having really busy days and we were having a great time. We really didn't want to be cooking in the apartment at night, but that was just our personal preference. So the second tip here is go to a supermarket as soon as you arrive, stock up on healthy snacks. You might have to go back a couple of times to the supermarket if you're there for a week or so, and just make sure that you're taking healthy snacks with you during the day, and go in with a little bit of a plan about whether you're going to have certain meals at home or whether you're going to have certain meals out. And then at least you've got a bit of a plan in mind, and you're not just caught short, you know, if you're suddenly hungry and you end up ordering a burger or something like that. So the third tip is when you go into a cafe or a restaurant, which is, you know, that tends to happen a lot when you're on holiday, go for the healthier options. So it goes without saying that if you order pizza or pasta or chicken or burgers and chips night after night after night, you are going to put on weight. There's no doubt about it. And you're going to come home heavier than what you left, and probably more than what that little buffer that you allowed yourself. So look for things like, you know, smoothies, smoothie bowls, like make sure that you have greens on your plate if you can. You know, order the meals with a side salad or a side of veggies. I'm thinking what I had when I was there. I had a bowl full of gnocchi, which is pasta, but I went for dairy and gluten-free. So if you can go dairy and gluten-free, that's going to help you. If you can go meat-free, that's going to reduce the amount of calories that you're eating as well. So there's nothing wrong with having a burger and a chips, but you just don't want to be having that every single day for dinner, because you will end up putting on weight. Okay, number 4 is to walk as much as possible. Now, Deidre, I know that this is not going to be an issue for you because you're on a massive walk at the moment. So what walking will do is it will offset some of the food that you're eating. So for example, what Steve and I tended to do when we were away is that we were generally up fairly early, and most of our days didn't kind of get going until like round about 9 o'clock in terms of leaving the apartment and going out for the day. So Steve would usually get up first. He'd go for a walk, find himself a coffee. He'd walk for maybe an hour. He'd come home, and then I'd go out and walk. Obviously, we couldn't leave the kids back at the apartment by themselves. So by the time that we'd done our hour walk each, we'd already done several thousand steps, and then we headed out for our day, and we just walked as much as we could. We did use the tram, we did use buses to take us to theme parks and things like that, but we made a really conscious effort. Like, for example, if we were going to walk into the excuse me, if we were going to walk into the main Surfers Paradise hub, we would, if we were going to go there, if we had a plan to go there, we would walk more than tram, because every little bit counts. And it worked out that we were averaging about 15,000 steps a day, which is pretty good going. You know, that's a consistent day of just walking around. Even if you're going to places like just walking around shops and things like that, it's not like you're going on a power walk, but it's still exercise. So it does add up, and that serves 2 purposes. The first one is that you get your exercise in, which helps to offset the amount of extra food you might be eating. But also, if you're walking 15 or more thousand steps a day, by the end of the day, you're pretty knackered. And so we were in bed most nights by 9 p.m. So that meant that we were getting really good, deep, restful sleep. And that, remember, is your main tool for maintaining your weight. Yes, the exercise is really important, but you must be sleeping well. If you're not sleeping well, your body is not going to be able to shed that extra, those extra, bits of body fat that are going on with all the food. So you do need deep, restful sleep. So if you're managing to get lots of exercise in during the day in the form of walking, that is going to give you those that much needed exercise, but also it's going to make sure that you're really tired by the end of the day and you're not going to be wanting to stay up till midnight. That's the other thing, is make sure that you don't fall out of your sleep routine too far, because the temptation when you're on holiday is to stay up to all hours, and because you're enjoying yourself and you don't have to go to work the next day. I would strongly advise that you don't do that. Try and stick to your bedtime routine as much as possible. For Steve and I, that tends to be about around 9 p.m, 9:30 p.m, lights out at 10 o'clock at the latest. That's our general routine, and that makes sure that we get enough sleep every single day so that we can, perform well the following day. When you're on holiday, don't stay up till midnight if you can help it. Of course, there might be the odd night that you do that if you're out and about and with friends or something. But try and keep your bedtime routine consistent, and that is going to help you maintain your body shape, because sleep is really, really important for that. Okay, number 6 is just to enjoy yourself. Don't get caught up thinking about food all the time. I think anybody would know that the more you think about food and what you're eating and whether you should be restricting calories or measuring portion sizes, the more you do that, the more you think about it and the more obsessed you become with it. My advice is to go in with that rough plan of how you're going to approach your meals, like I mentioned before, and then just get on with your day. Make sure you're filling your days with fun activities. Do the things that you want to do. You won't be thinking about food all the time if you're able to do that. And if you're not thinking about food all the time, the chances are high that you will eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full, which is how we should be eating. But because a lot of us obsess about, oh no, I'm going away on holiday and I don't know what I'm going to eat and I don't want to get fat and I don't have all these healthy options anymore, I would say just relax, do your best, allow yourself that little buffer of, okay, I might put on a kilo or 2, big deal, I can take it off when I come home. Just relax. Make sure that you've got lots of fun things planned. You don't want to be obviously sitting around too much just thinking about food and looking forward to your next meal too much, because that just makes you obsess about it. So in my experience, if you can just put the food and drink thing on the back burner, then you are more likely to maintain your body shape, because you're not thinking about it all the time. You're not constantly wanting to eat because you're always thinking about food. You're just eating when the meal times come round. You eat what you need to eat and then you stop and then you get on with your day. And that's a really easy way to live. Okay, number 7. Some of you might laugh at this one. Take your scales with you if you have to. Maybe not if you're doing a multiple 1,000-kilometer trek. But I'll tell you something. One of our clients who has been working with us for a really long time, she's been in our community for a long time. She went on a cruise around the world, which was several months long. And she was determined that she did not want to put on weight, because obviously on a cruise ship, you are surrounded with temptation, beautiful buffets, cocktails, all that sort of thing. So she actually took her scales with her in her suitcase, and you'll never believe it, when she got home, so what she did was she weighed in consistently. Okay, so this helped her keep on track during her holiday. Every morning she would get on the scales. If she'd gone up a little bit, she knew to pull back a little bit that day with her food intake. So she was able to measure what was happening throughout that time away, which was over a long period of time. And then when she got home, she weighed in again and she was half a kilo lighter than when she left. Now, I think that that is an amazing achievement. And the only way that she was able to do that was because she took her scales and she kept herself accountable, which I think is such a good idea. If you're someone who has got a long-term weight loss goal and you've got a lot of weight to lose and you don't want to, perhaps you feel like you're not very confident in going away and not putting on all that weight again, take your scales with you. I know it sounds crazy, but put them in your suitcase. They don't weigh that much. Take them with you. It might be the best decision that you ever make. So that's an idea for you. The last tip is that you can do some fasting. By fasting, I don't mean like 24-hour water fasts or anything like that, although if that's something that you like to do, that's fine. By fasting, I mean, for example, if you go out for dinner and maybe you eat a little bit more than what you wanted to, or maybe you had one of your sort of cheap meals, which was your burger and your fries or something like that. Maybe you had a pudding. The next morning you can fast. So your body has got lots of calories on board from that meal. It probably doesn't need any more food the next morning. And if you just fast until, say, for example, lunchtime, that gives your liver an extra chance to just break down all those fats and all those extra calories rather than dumping more food into the body when it probably doesn't need it. So you can experiment with fasting, whether it's like, you could do it maybe a couple of times a week, or maybe you could do it every second day, depending on what kind of food you're eating. If you're managing to find really good, healthy foods, you probably don't really need to fast. But if you find that you're struggling to find good options and you're resorting to more the takeaway type junk foods, then fasting can be a really good tool just to keep the overall number of calories that you're eating in check. So that's another option for you. So just a quick recap on the 8 ways to maintain your body shape while on holiday. The first one is to forget about weight loss and concentrate on maintenance or a tiny buffer, 1 to 2 kilos heavier. If you put on 1 to 2 kilos, that's okay. You can take that off easily when you get home. The second one, when you first arrive at your location, find a supermarket, stock up on healthy snacks, breakfasts, maybe a few lunch foods, put them in your backpack and take them with you when you go, so that you're not eating out all the time. Generally, the more that you eat out, the worse you're going to do. But the reality is that we do end up eating out a lot on holiday. But if you can choose those meals that you're going to have at home, so for example, your cereals or your fruit and your nuts and things like that, that's going to be a good option. Number 3, go for healthier options at cafes and restaurants. It might be tempting to just indulge when you're on holiday, but it doesn't pay off. All it does is it makes you heavier, it makes you tired, and then you usually end up regretting it because you feel like crap. So go for the healthier options, maybe the the small amount of meat with the side salad and the vegetables and things like that. Maybe a wrap, maybe a smoothie, something like that. Okay, number 4 is do as much walking as you can, even if there are buses and trams and trains available. Yes, of course, at some point, those are going to be more convenient depending on what you're doing, but try and do your walking as much as you can. That's going to compensate for a lot when it comes to your food. It's also going to make sure that by the end of the day, you feel tired so that you go to bed at a reasonable hour and get a really good sleep, okay? That we don't want you staying up till all hours while you're on holiday because that's going to work against you. So sleep was number 5. Number 6 is just chill out and enjoy it. Don't worry about thinking about your food. Just relax. Trust that your body knows what it needs. The more you think about it, the more you're going to obsess about it and the more you're going to eat. So just chill out and enjoy your time over there. Eat when you feel hungry. Stop when you feel full. Number 7, take your scales with you if you have to. Great way to keep yourself accountable. And number 8 is you can fast semi-regularly if you feel like you need it, if you're feeling like you're eating a little bit too much. So there's your 8 ways to maintain your body shape while on holiday. I hope that was helpful. I may have missed 1 or 2. I might think of a couple of others when I switch this off. I'm sure there are a couple of others, but these are the ones that we follow when we go away. And, one of the things that we teach our clients is if they are going to be going away on holiday, go in with a bit of a plan on how you're going to approach it. And that way you're more likely to come home feeling good, you're not, you know, you haven't overdone it, you're not dealing with a few extra kilos, 5 kilos or more, and you're not feeling tired. So yeah, the key thing is to go in with a plan when you go away on holiday. Yeah, so let me know if you've got any questions. Let me know if there's something that you guys do that keeps you on track when you're on holiday, because that would be really useful for me to know. Last but not least, books are selling really well. I had a question actually about the books, and this question came up this morning when I went to get my chai latte, and the cafe that I went to sells both of these books. And she said one of the customers asked whether one should be read first. So with these books, they both stand alone. You can read this one or you can read this one without having read the other. But in saying that, if you do want to read both, read this one first, okay? And then this one second. And that's the reason I wrote them in that order, obviously. So this one is all about, you know, your foundations to great health, all about our coaching philosophies. It gives you all the basics. And then this one, all about the plant-based diet, is about, you know, kicking that those good foundations of health up a few notches. Okay, so this is going to get you healthy. This is going to skyrocket it. Okay, so this isn't really a sequel, but they kind of do work together as well. All right, both available on our website, by the way. I think I'll leave it there for today. As I said, let me know if you've got any questions. Hi Debs, hi Katie, thanks for tuning in, and thank you to all of you who have watched this morning. Go and have a great day and a great week. We'll catch you next Monday at 9 a.m. Bye.